What's up, everybody? It's Dominic DeAngelo of Brass Ring Media, and it is June 14th, 2025, and it is the Daily Wrestling Hotline. Hey, this week, kind of not the Daily Wrestling Hotline, right? I missed a few days, but look, things happen. I will make one up on Sunday here for you guys too, as well. And yeah, just got to keep consistent. It's called the Daily Wrestling Hotline, kind of in name, but the goal is to have it every Monday through Friday. So, gonna get back on track. Just been kind of like a week, uh, somewhat uneventful, somewhat things I don't necessarily. It didn't really spark my interest to talk about, so I wasn't super duper intrigued. And I had other stuff I had to do too when it came to shows, podcasting, workload, personal life, all that kind of stuff. So back at it here. I did find something intriguing I wanted to talk about, and that is the potential return of Goldberg, Bill Goldberg. Uh, Now, if you know me, I am and have always been a mark for Bill Goldberg. Um, First wrestler I met as a kid, 1998, Du Bois, Pennsylvania, the Hampton Inn. It was me, my degenerate brother Marcus, uh, meeting Bill Goldberg. This was like the week, and it was that weekend he was going to DC. It might have been the next day he was going to DC for Great American Bash. I remember this distinctly. Great American Bash, and it was on storyline related, going to be his 100th win, and if he won, and he was up against Conan. So I remember meeting Bill Goldberg at the Hampton Inn. Not too much of a crazy interaction. He was just a nice guy. I was just a 13-year-old kid that was really nervous. And yeah, so memories of Bill Goldberg. And then years later in New Orleans, Bill Goldberg was at WrestleCon. And this was my final year going to WrestleMania as just a fan. So me and Marcus got a photo opportunity with Goldberg again. And I remember showing him the picture. I was like, hey, this was me when I was 13. And he was like, Jesus. He's like, you make me feel old. This is a cool moment. I like Bill Goldberg a lot. And, people can criticize what he has to say and has blunt opinions and certain things like that. And I love Bret Hart, too. I love Bret Hart. And that's another thing I want to tackle, too. It's always an ongoing thing about Bret Hart hating Bill Goldberg. That's, I think, very overblown in regards to how much headspace that Goldberg takes up in Bret Hart's head. I don't think that is somebody that really, really occupies a lot of Bret Hart's time. I know it makes, from appearance when doing interviews or things like that, and it's fun for people to lean into that point. I really don't think that is occupying and taking over Bret Hart's life as much as social media would want you to believe, and memes would want you to believe. But anyways, Bill Goldberg reportedly coming back to WWE to face Gunther in what was such an intriguing little teaser we got, months back. And the report is that he will be the one to challenge Gunther for that World Heavyweight Championship at Saturday night's main event. And man, I just think it would be very, very cool for Goldberg to get the title again. And I know people would feel the opposite way about it, but if you think about it, this is a full circle thing when it comes to this heavyweight championship. I mean, Goldberg held this title before, in a way. Now, this is a title that mirrors the history of the World Heavyweight Championship, the big gold, everything like that. Now, it's not, the lineage is not tied to it, but I always feel, and I always said that Triple H should make a concerted effort to tie this World Heavyweight Championship into the history of the big gold. Make it carry on that legacy. Look, it's pro wrestling. You can do that. I think you can get away with doing that, and fans would totally embrace that. No better way to kind of do that if you had Goldberg, who's however old he is, 58? 57? Either way, you could have him beat Gunther, and then you could have him lose it. Now, I think the thought process is Gunther will beat Goldberg in his final match, and that will be that. It will be Taylor's career, and that what a way to have a Saturday night's main event that feels like major and awesome. I would push back and just say, give Goldberg the title, make it feel like something, make it special. You don't get too many of these opportunities to do that in pro wrestling, where the guy looks like he did back then. And I think you make the most of that. And I don't think Gunther losing to Goldberg would hurt him. Now, I did have my thoughts about how the storyline has been playing out with Jey Uso and how Gunther was kind of lost and things like that. I think you have him go up against Goldberg, have Gunther kind of get the better of him for the most part, but boom, spear, jackhammer, it's over. And then Gunther can get his heat back. I think you can definitely do it. That's my thought process. And maybe I'm a little biased because I love Bill Goldberg. And look, there's other reasons too that I like Bill Goldberg. I think him, just the presence he has. There is no doubt he had a presence about him. That Nikita Koloff kind of connection with the fans, the body language. Even though he was not knowledgeable of the business and things like that, and self-admitted that he was kind of just thrown into the fire of it all, he has had the X factor and still has the X factor, I think. Something else that does not get touched upon with Goldberg is that he loves animals. And I know it's okay, whatever, Dom. But I think that is such a cool added element to him that he is, he's a self-admitted meathead jock. And I think, the added element that gets pushed aside of him is, he'll say blunt and kind of, oh man, eyebrow raising things that catch people's, radar and things like that when it comes to his thoughts on wrestling or his opinions on things. But look, Goldberg is who he is and he doesn't care. And I think that's great. So I'm all for Goldberg going and getting this title potentially again. But the other added element I wanted to talk about too was, hey, this is going up against AEW. This is going up against All In. And I saw people kind of criticize WWE for doing it. Like, oh, this is what you're walking out. You're putting Goldberg and Gunther in a match. Yeah, it's the perfect thing to put up against AEW All In. Because what are you getting with All In? You're getting you're getting notable names that are athletic and that are the top athletes of pro wrestling that you could argue. Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Okada, Swerve Strickland, lots of quality athleticism that really fits the niche of AEW. And but it plays into a lot of what people criticize about AEW too. So in the same turn, you are going WWE is going in the complete opposite route with a match like this. Goldberg versus Gunther. It's about the name cachet. It's about hard hitting. It's not going to be about a wrestling. You're not going to get a wrestling clinic between Goldberg and Gunther, even though Gunther can definitely handle himself. Goldberg has never been about that, obviously. So it's going to be boom. It's going to be Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania style, which was an awesome match, by the way. That 6-minute thing was such a freaking great match. I love that thing that they did at WrestleMania years back. And so we're going to get that on Saturday's main event, and I think that's the perfect thing. That is going to get eyes away from AEW. It will. I fully believe that too. So I'm all for a Goldberg thing. I'm all for Goldberg winning the title. I'm all for Goldberg and Gunther going up against All In. I think it's, a savvy business move by WWE's part on that top to give something a complete alternative to what AEW will be presenting that weekend. So, and, if you're going to do it, say what you will about WWE just intentionally booking themselves up against All In. This is how you do it. So, yes, if this show catches any radar and gets some thoughts, I'm sure I will get some opinions on there. By the way, I do have to bring this up. A couple days ago, there was a thing about AJ Styles and like how he doesn't use wireless headsets, and it was a parody thing that he doesn't use wireless headsets because he thinks it messes with brain waves, all that stuff. Really tongue in cheek, Joe Rogan kind of thought process on all this kind of stuff, and it was Pro Wrestling Central, which is not any sort of account whatsoever. It's all fake. Really creates it, and AJ Styles it tricked AJ. AJ was just like, no, this is not true. You can see the wire thing. And so AJ thought this was something being reported. And he's like, I never said anything to that effect. And so it fooled AJ. And while I'm like, look, I see plenty of these accounts on X that are like Wrestle Ops, but it's Wrestle Oops and certain things like that where they have a little parody tag underneath of it. And so I'm like, this is kind of BS. Look, yeah, people have their fun and oh my God, yeah, this is something and it tricks everybody. But as a journalist, I don't like it. I don't like this fact that it is deceiving people and people are getting things like that. Yeah, sure, you maybe should be on your toes and be aware. Okay, but look, people say a lot of crazy crap on social media. People report a lot of inaccurate stuff on social media. Like it's a problem. And so I had no problem making a community note and letting AJ know about it. Well, I got crapped on big time. There was so many people that called me a loser, nerd. Oh man, I loved it. Buzzkill. I forgot about the term buzzkill, and people were calling me a buzzkill. I really, it's so weird. People get hurt by what gets negative said online, and I completely understand some of that stuff, but I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. People saying that kind of crap because it's like, dude, am I maybe I'm a buzzkill, but I'm being accurate. I don't give a crap what you think. And on top of it too, I'm gonna do the right thing about that. I just think it's stupid, and I do think there's so much deception online nowadays. And hey, why not? If you're gonna tag something else as a parody account, that should be tagged as a parody account too. I don't give a damn. So there you go. There are my thoughts. This is my hotline. I'm glad to be back. I'll do an extra one tomorrow because I've missed a few days. But yes, if you haven't yet, check out Ashley Mann, Kick Ash Podcast. She did one today. Zach did a Brass Ring Media podcast. With StreamYard's had some issues the past few days, so we're back on track, it seems like. So good to have that. Good to be here, and I'll see you tomorrow. But always remember, this is the Daily Wrestling Hotline. You call 1-900-909-9900. Who's next?